know who made it. You know who made it. You know who made it. You know who made it.
What is going on, Gamble Factory? It's your boy Z Rob and Coach T Posey. We're back to talk some Sunday football action. We're going to cook up a prize pick slip, answer any football questions you guys may have. Tyler, how you feeling?
I was feeling really good about 3 to 4 hours ago. Still feel pretty good, but I got about 4 pops bumped on me before I could get them taken and before we get on stream tonight. So I would have loved to have those, but we move.
Yeah, I got a few props myself that I was going to bring up on the stream that they've gotten bumped just from waiting kind of till the day before, but it's okay. We still got some stuff we can take advantage of, I think. What are you liking? You got anything you want to bring up first?
Yeah, I mean we can go over to my guy CJ Stroud,
Oh boy.
and I actually took, believe it or not, I took his 30.5 passing attempts.
What a surprise. You took a passing attempt prop.
I know, a passing attempt prop, a rushing attempt prop seems to be my calling. I mean, last week he chunked it. I mean, all around the field. I believe he ended up with like 40 something pass attempts. I'm trying to pull it. My freaking phone just crashed. Yeah, he threw 44 times last week against Baltimore. Obviously down most of that game, as Houston's probably going to be down most games because they're not good. And they're going to want to try to let him air it out and try to get him some NFL experiences before they're able to, add some talent to that team here in the next year or two. So I think 30.5 is pretty low for the amount of times he'll throw it. Weirdly, they are favorites against the Colts.
Yeah, I'm surprised
But
about that
Colts
too.
are, even though the Colts aren't very good either, still should be better than the Texans. But even the Texans being just a 1 point favorite, I still think this 30.5 is low, and I still think the Colts are a lot better than the Texans. So I don't know. I just don't get the line, so I'm gonna take the over.
I haven't. I know was on the injury report with his shoulder. Are you worried about that at all? I don't know if you've seen
Nah,
that.
not really.
I know it just said
I'm
sore
not really
shoulder,
worried
so I
about it.
think he'll be fine. I think they're getting back
Yeah, I think it's
a receiver. I believe this week too. I don't know. I can't remember. I saw something. I didn't look into the Texans much, but I think they're getting back a receiver. So if so, that'd help him be a little bit more confident in passing him a little bit more too. I think
yeah,
so. But no,
for sure.
I can get on board with it. I'm surprised they're favored actually. I wouldn't be surprised if they do have to play from behind a
Yeah,
decent amount.
I don't. Yeah, I don't see them being favored here. I don't understand that line in the slightest, but I don't know. So that's why I'm taking the over.
Michael asked, "Do you suggest a 2 pick for a higher amount of money or a 6 pick?" Um, the best thing to do long term is to do 6 picks. Just because, for example, you only really have to hit 1 in 25 slips, assuming you don't get any like 0.5x or 2x payout. That's technically the smartest thing to do long term if you're playing like good odds plays. Um, but 2 picks obviously a lot safer, especially like when you're starting out trying to build bankroll. I think that's smartest to do. But me and Tyler, we mostly play 6 picks. That's just the way we do it. I mean, you only have to hit like 1 in 25, or even some like 1 in 35 if you hit a bunch of 2x's or 0.5x's. And Travis Kelsey to
Yeah,
score
I guess if you
anytime
follow me on
touchdown.
Twitter at all, you
Oh,
know this.
yeah, Tyler's been hitting so many 2x's. Travis Kelsey to score anytime touchdown, average -140 odds, but mostly one-way markets. How do you play these? Also, thanks for the sleeper caches. Yes, sir. The touchdown props are really volatile. I mean, it's kind of tough sometimes when you see like -140 anytime touchdown score. That's obviously good, but to me that means less than like -140 over like 4.5 receptions or something like that. Touchdown, like obviously some players are more likely to score a touchdown than others, like Travis Kelsey or Christian McCaffrey. So they're gonna have -140 odds, -180 odds compared to like +200 or something like I don't know, just some person who's less likely to score. Doesn't really matter. But I mean, those are just tough. Touchdowns can be super volatile no matter how good you are. Sometimes it could just you may not get to be the guy that falls in the end zone. So I'll go ahead and go next on my prop. I think I brought this up last week. I don't know if we ended up taking it, but maybe we did and he didn't hit. I'm going back to Bijan. So I like his 76.5 rushing receiving yards. I was looking at him last week. I think we took his rush yards and he missed by a couple yards, if I'm not mistaken. But he played 63% of the snaps, and I think that's something that trends a little bit upwards throughout the season. I mean, they have Tyler Algier there, and he looked really good, so they're definitely going to split the backfield. But they were on the field sometimes at the same time. So he's a guy that got 6 targets last week. Their quarterback sucks at throwing the ball. I mean, he was literally 4 for 4 for -1 yards to start the game last week. And then they're going up against the Packers, who the Bears played last week. So kind of a similar quarterback situation. Justin Fields is definitely a better quarterback, but somebody who's just not a really great passer. Fields targeted running backs 16 times last week versus Green Bay. So I'm thinking we see 5+ targets again for maybe Bijan. But he's definitely somebody who can eat yards on the ground as well. So I kind of like his rushing and receiving yards both. I don't know how you feel about that, or if you have any
You
thoughts.
don't have a lean. You don't have a lean either. You don't have a lean on either rushing or receiving.
No, I don't have a lean either way. That's why I just kind of I think his rushing and receiving line is a little too low. But I mean I know it's let's see I don't know what it is on the book. It was about that
Okay,
earlier when I looked.
Because I mean, you,
Yeah.
you like add them together as like 74, and his rushing and receiving is 76.
Yeah,
So
I know on a
not
bunch
much of a discount playing it that way.
most of the books he's 78 or higher. So
Yeah, so you get a discount on the books, but not necessarily combining them.
what
Is
do
that
you
right?
No, like he's higher on the books than he is on Prize Picks for his He's like two.
Yeah, I'm saying like, but if you combine the rush and receiving yards together,
Yeah, I mean he's
the
like
individual lines is
he looks like he's 54.5 on DraftKings, 18.5 on DraftKings for receiving. So what's that? 72, 73, something like that.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so it's. I mean, I guess you're losing a little bit of equity, but it's not terrible. I was hoping they put up his receptions or his targets.
yeah, I was hoping that. I know, like I think on Sleeper he's 2.5, which I think is a really good play. But they unfortunately did not
I'm
put him up
definitely
there just
not.
probably because it's so heavily favored over 2.5 receptions. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. It's one of my favorite props. I've played it on Sleeper too, I believe. So
You played the yards. Did you play? You didn't play the 2.5 receptions at all.
no, I played the. I can't remember. It's either receptions or rushing and receiving. I can't remember what I played on Sleeper.
Makes sense.
But I
I
think he
got you.
was actually like
All
a
right.
yard lower on Sleeper. He was like 75 on Prize Picks, so it got bumped a yard, which I think is irrelevant at this line. So
Yeah, Dor- Dorito. I got Sizzy. Got CJ at 185 passing yards.
what's it at now?
That was that mispriced line there on Prospects. I'm sure it's like the 200. Remember that was the one that was like 40 yards
Oh
off
yeah,
the
that's right.
books.
Yeah, that's really big value. So that was a good get.
Yeah, absolutely. Next for me, I'm going to go over to Matthew Stafford and go over 33.5 passing attempts. I mean, you got to stay in line with what you love, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I'm an attempts guy. So he's playing the 49ers. 49ers are incredibly good. Like one of probably the best defense in the entire league. San Francisco's 7-point favorites. I don't see much getting done on the ground. I think they, ran both running backs quite a bit last week, but they're not gonna have that same success this week with San Francisco's defense being so good. And last week, Kenny Pickett threw 46 times trying to play catch up, especially his touchdown point 7 point dogs. I don't see any way Matthew Stafford doesn't have to throw it so many times, and 33.5 is just too low. He played Seattle last week, threw it 38 times in a game they won. So
yeah. I think they kind of. I mean, that was the neutral game script too the whole time. Like they weren't even playing from
yeah,
behind last week. So
yeah, and the way that 49ers looked last week, it just seems like they're gonna jump out in front and just not allow anything on the ground. So I just think it forces Matthew Stafford to throw it. Odds are pretty good for 34.5. They're kind of mid for 34.5, but we're getting in at 33.5. So I think some of the books that are left at 33.5, they're like minus 140 plus.
hmm
So I think you got a good game script, good odds, and I don't see any way this doesn't go over.
no, I like that. I got a play that kind of correlates with that too a little bit. Just on the opposite side of the ball, it's Christian McCaffrey. I'm really surprised to see his fantasy score at 19. I think that's really low. I believe Statastic. I trust their projections a lot. They have him at 23 projected. Um,
Wow.
and if you just like, he's pretty heavily favored to score a touchdown. He's always 8 against Durant. Like last year, he absolutely 8 against him. He had like 7 catches, I believe, in each of those games. He had over 69 rush yards in each game. He had over 55 receiving yards in each game. And in the last three, I think he's played the Rams 3 times. He has 4 touchdowns against them. So um, I just 19's
Hmm.
too low, in my opinion. It's kind of like the Tyreek Hill prop last week, or yeah, last week when we took it. I think Tyreek was at
Yeah,
19 last week also, and he ended up going for like 40 or something like that. Not saying C-Mac's gonna do that. He definitely could,
yeah, too went crazy.
but 19's just incredibly too low. And if he's scoring touchdowns, then that's good for the Matthew Stafford prop because they're probably playing from behind because of C-Mac. So
Yeah, I think it's a really good correlated slip that makes a lot of sense, honestly. I mean, you look at last week and the Seahawks had running backs go. I mean, even in a terrible game script for the Seahawks last week, Kenneth Walker had 12 carries for 64 yards. Like, it's
Mhm.
not like they didn't have success on the ground; they just couldn't stay on the ground
Exactly.
and couldn't stay on the field. So, yeah, I think to see Matt call out for fantasy scores, elite. Yeah, I really like that one as well. I don't look at fantasy scores very often, but that's one I really do like.
Yeah, I think it's really good. You got another one?
All right. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple more. But I think the next one that I really like is Kevin Byard. He's safety for the Titans. I like his over 5.5 tackles and assists.
I figured you were gonna come in with a tackle prop.
I mean, I have to go passing attempts and I have to go tackles prop. I mean, that's just me. But anyways, last week he finished up with 8 tackles against the Saints. I think the Chargers probably have to throw a little bit more without Eckler for sure. I mean, Kelly's not bad, but he's not Eckler. So I think that they get into the air a little bit more, giving Byard another chance to continue to find tackles, to find receivers out there. He'll probably be lurking over close to Keenan Allen most of the day, and obviously we know Keenan Allen is heavily targeted in this offense, and can help with the run a little bit as well. But I do think with no Austin Eckler tomorrow, and Byard already hitting this at 55+% of his games last year, we're looking for that again this week.
Yep, and then getting some overjuice on the books as well at this line too is clutch.
Mine's like 135, 140 in that range. Some of the games he kind of didn't really hit it last year were like Houston and Indianapolis, like not great teams.
Yeah.
Teams that kind of threw it a little bit more, or some of the better teams, he was able to hit this pretty easily in most of those games.
Yeah, no, I can get on board with that for sure. I got a couple that we can go this last one. I really was wanting Jake Ferguson over 2.5 receptions. I love those sneaky tight end plays, but he got bumped. His receiving yards, I think, is still good, but I don't think it's as good as the receptions. A prop that I'm liking a pretty good amount more. And I've always kind of hated on this guy, but after watching him on Monday, I can't anymore. It's Breece Hall, 45.5 rushing and receiving yards. He only played 31% of the snaps on Monday, and this dude looked incredible in my opinion. He had 147 yards on 31% of the snaps. I don't even think he had 10 touches. But I think this is lowest we're gonna get this line all year long. He's hit this line in every single game of his career. I think his lowest is like 60. Granted, last year, I mean, he was playing more snaps before he got hurt, but they've said that they're going to start him off slow, and he still got 31% of the snaps last week. So I think we're going to get more. The only problem is maybe now Zach Wilson's a QB, and them playing from behind, so I don't know how that's going to look for them. So, kind of a weird prop.
Yeah, that'd be my only worry. Yeah, but he's still with those 31% target, or 31% snap share. He still got 11 touches.
He had 11 touches. Yeah.
So he was, 11 touches in those 31%. So when he's on the field, he was getting work.
Yeah, if he's on the field, they're gonna put him to use. They're not just gonna play him just to be a blocker. They don't want him getting hurt that way. And he got 2 targets in that time. So
last week he only had.
Go ahead.
Yeah, last week he only had the 1 catch, and Dalvin had 3 catches last week. I think that kind of evens out to more of Breece Hall. Breece Hall is just better. I mean, I think that 31% gives up to closer to 40 this next week, probably. So, yeah, I'm with that one as well.
And then, also, I got my boy.
If you want me to,
oh yeah, you go ahead. If you got another one.
Yeah, I think we'll go. We can talk about how many ever we need to and narrow it down. But this one correlates with my CJ Stroud play. I like Nico Collins. I liked his receptions earlier at 3.5.
That's a bump now.
But they bumped that one to 4, which I think is fine. But I'm going back to his targets, actually.
Wow, he got 11
his targets,
last week.
Yes, his targets have been set to 6.5, which he's hit in his last 5 straight games. He's covered that in all of them. And again, if you want to correlate this with Stroud, it makes a lot of sense. If I think he's going to throw 30 plus times, he's got to throw to somebody. And I do think Nico Collins is his best option. He has Brandon Cooks there, which is not bad. But it's a Nico Collins, or not Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, excuse me. Both of those guys seen 10 plus targets last week. Tank Dell, got just 4, and Dalton Schultz surprisingly only got it 4 as well. So I do think it's Nico. I think with 11 targets last week and hitting it in 5 straight, I still don't think the game script is right for the Houston to be -1. I don't agree with that line. So I think it's just a really good correlation play, and especially somebody in Nico who's been gobbling up targets for them.
The only thing I'd say about that, though, is John Mechie could make his debut on Sunday. And while I don't think he'll eat into his target share that much, it could affect it some. I doubt John Mechie plays a lot. If he plays, I just know they don't have an injury designation for him. So I think he's going to be making his NFL debut tomorrow.
I would think so too. I just don't think he's anything right now. I don't see him doing
I think
anything, especially last week.
Yeah.
His 11.
No, I think his that 6.5 target line is definitely too low. But no, I don't mind it at all. I don't know if I like it for a slip, personally, but just because of the John Mechie news, I don't know, it makes me a little bit nervous. But
yeah, that doesn't even affect me at all. So I'll probably play that one tomorrow. So be looking out for that one, everybody.
Yeah. I still like last week. This was our guy. It's my favorite prop on the week. We're going back to Tyreek Hill. I know he plays Sunday night, so we probably won't play him in this slip, just because like last week we did a Sunday night stream, I believe. So, but if you want to, Tyreek Hill 6 receptions or his 17 fantasy score looks very, very, very good. I think it's kind of bumped down a little bit because I think the books are scared of the Patriots for some reason, but I mean, he's covered 6 receptions 10 of 14 times with Tua. He had 15 targets last week. Last year with Tua, he had 8 receptions versus New England. I'm not worried about New England at all. The Dolphins are gonna scheme Tyreek open and get him targets and looks all game long. So until this line goes up to like 8.5 and like 20 fantasy score, I'm gonna keep bringing it up every week, and I'm gonna keep taking it. So.
Yeah, I think it's way too low. I knew you were coming with that at some point. I figured you would, debut it at the Sunday night stream, but throwing it out here makes sense. I'll probably have that in a few slips even before Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's just too low.
I agree. It should be bumped up.
I
know
mean,
he's really
Miami
heavily
seems like a
favored
team
over.
to stack.
Do what?
Yeah, Miami's a team that we're always going to look to stack.
Oh yeah, for sure. Such a condensed target share there. So I think tomorrow's Sunday night slip will be really good.
Yeah, I mean I'm excited for that one. That one should be a good one and fun one to cover.
Somebody said pairing the Bayard
Have any
and
more?
Stafford prop. He loves it.
Let's go.
What about Hill TD? Yeah, I think Hill scores. I think Hill scores more than 50% of the games. So I don't take TD props often, but I kind of tend to go more fantasy score instead of TD if I think they're going to score TD, just to kind of play it a little bit safer. But yeah, I definitely think Tyreek scores a touchdown. We locking this slip in? I don't know, Tyler, you like it?
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
We're about to find out what we like the best, but you got any more you want to talk about? Or you kind of
the only other one I have that didn't get bumped is, I think it's Jamar Chase. I have him. Is it still? Yeah, 79.5 receiving yards seems too low. It's a big bounce back spot. He's covered this 3 of 4 versus the Ravens, and I think the Ravens are without their starting safety, so that's going to be a little detrimental to him. He's had over 10 targets in each game versus the Ravens and over 7 catches in each of those games. So 80 yards just seems kind of low, especially after that dud they had last week. They're not a bad team. They're going to be excellent. They're going to be one of the best teams in football this year. So I think it's a good spot for Jamar Chase to cover this.
Yeah, and that weather can't be worse.
Yeah.
That weather can't be worse either.
No. I doubt we get another
That was
rainstorm
not good
like
weather.
that.
There's no shot. Yeah, there's no shot that Joe Burrow goes out there and throws like that again.
Somebody's asking,
Louise says Wilson completions.
is a steal? Oh, I just don't know if we can trust. What's it at?
I don't even know.
It's at 17 and a half. I was hoping it was going to be like 14 and a half. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, it's
I mean,
pretty middle on the odds. Versus the Cowboys, I'd just be worried that their defense is legit. It's hard to tell from the Giants last week, but I don't know if I trust Zach Wilson enough to play him, personally.
is he talking about Zach Wilson or Russell Wilson?
Oh, I just assumed it was Zach Wilson. Russell Wilson would probably make more sense.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Russell's at 19 and a half. He completed 27 last week against the Raiders.
Yeah, he was talking about Russell Wilson.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, man, I don't know about Zach Wilson. I was thinking under.
What we got for Russ?
I'm looking at his
We letting Russ
odds.
cook again?
Is Russ gonna cook? He's got some nice odds to go over minus 120 on DraftKings. A few of these other books have him at minus 125 or minus 137. Man.
Yeah, it's not bad against
No.
Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
It's not bad.
I don't think it's gonna be real great. Trying to see how many Dobbs had last week against them. Dobbs had 21 last week.
Oh, Dobbs sucks.
Yeah. He had 21 last
And
week.
he's
versus-
not good at all.
No. That's actually
Yeah,
interesting to me.
I don't know, Luis. You might see that one on the slip tomorrow morning for me. It's possible. But yeah, so I had another couple I was eyeing, Zach,
What you got?
and they are not going to be pretty ones.
Oh
I
gosh.
got the Brandon Aubrey 1.5 field goals made for Dallas.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. It's not going to be fun. I don't like playing field goal
Freaking
kickers.
field goal props, man. I've never got
But-
one right in my life.
I just think, they're playing the Jets. They're 8.5-point favorites. Jets defense is still really good. Cowboys offense is good enough where they can get some movement in the offense, and then that Jets defense is hard to score on. So I think they stall out just enough to get these field goal attempts, and the odds are in his favor as well. Not great, but they're in his favor. Tyler Bass just kicked 3 times against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And you go back to last year, and field goal kickers were always doing well against them. Again, that defense is really, really good.
Yeah, it's hard to score touchdowns on them for sure.
Yeah, it is. So I looked at that one, and then
I like it.
I'm looking at Mac Jones over passing attempts as well. And I hate it that I'm looking at it.
Old Mac. Golly, he just threw
I
54
don't wanna
times.
Yeah, I don't want to really talk about that prop because I just hate myself for thinking about it. But I just am throwing it out there to mention it. But that's all.
Man, I like it. I think we're going to have a good Sunday night slip tomorrow. I mean, those are two
I
that
think
we
so.
liked, and I haven't even dug into the Sunday night football game, really.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I think that's pretty solid. I hope that stays at 34.5.
Yeah, I do too.
Lauren took
Yeah, there
Mac
you go,
on a
Lauren.
slip
Just
earlier.
take it. Let's go. So, seems like we got our 6, bro.
One more Bobby Miller hit to cash on sleeper, please, Miller. Ramondre reception yards too. Yeah, I was kind of eyeing that prop. I didn't research it at all, but I was eyeing it when I was just scrolling through the game. I think old Ramondre eats tomorrow. Trevor Lawrence, first half fantasy score of 8.5. Full game is 18. That is kind of spicy. I definitely like that value you get in the first half. 8.5, that's probably the touchdown and 125 yards. Right? Yeah, touchdown and about 125
Yeah,
yards.
5-9, yeah, exactly.
And he's 260 passing yards
Yeah,
in his
that's
full
about it.
game. So, yeah, I like that first half fantasy score quite a bit. But what you want to lock in? You want to lock in
Yes,
these
good
6
find.
that we talked about?
Yeah, let's go through them and
Alright.
get the chat on all of them, get them locked in, and then we can. Anybody wants to ask some questions, we can go through those as well.
Alright, we got CJ Stroud over 30.5 pass attempts. Bijan Robinson over 76.5 rushing and receiving yards. Matt Stafford over 33.5 pass attempts. C-Mac over 19 fantasy score. Kevin Byard over 5.5 tackles and assists. And Mr. Brees Hall over 45.5 rushing and receiving yards. I'm going to lock it in if chat is good with it. And I kind of like this slip. I think it looks really good. I think we're due for a 25x. We went 4-1 last on Thursday, so I think it's coming soon.
Yeah, we went 4-2 last Sunday. We were right there every single week. Like seemingly spot on for the most part, outside of really just one weird game for the. I think that Chiefs game was really weird.
Yeah, I just locked it in myself. I like the slip. Chat, you guys have any questions you want us to answer? Fantasy football, props, anything? If not, we'll get out of here. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Tyler, you got anything else to add while we're waiting on some questions, possibly?
No, I don't think there's anything to add. I feel like we did a pretty good job of kind of going through what we got, and it's just time to hit now. I'm sick of barely missing. Oh my god! So tonight I did a prospect slip. I've hit 3 already, 1 miss, and another guy's just about to hit. If Bryce Miller gets 1 more hit,
Golly.
and I will again 2x it
That's tough, man.
again.
That's tough. I think
It is. Yes, it is.
I went 5 of 6 on my college football slip. I don't even get to play, but I play just because everybody's asking for it, and we've had some success on it. Went 5 of 6 on that. I think I could have 10x the college football slip if Travis Hunter gets me 30 receiving yards, and that line is like super discounted, so I don't know. I haven't looked what he's at, but I believe KJ has hit his passing and his passing and rush yards. So we could hit a 10x.
Sweet. Well, I mean, maybe it's not that sweet.
Well, it's sweet for everybody else. I don't get to take it, so. Lauren likes it. She said it looks good. Bill loves the slip. He thinks it's 1. Let's go, guys. Love the vibes. Anything for USC?
Bill.
No, not from me. Any of the Bengals wide receivers?
Yeah, not many plays left.
Yeah,
I think you talked about Chase.
Yeah, I talked about Chase. Love him.
Said.
I kind of like that game. I've been eyeing it for my stacks. I just can't decide if I want to go that way or not. I think they're due for a big passing performance. I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow throws for 300. Hunter is at 10 right now. He needs 20 more for the 10x on college football. So, all right, Tyler, you good? You want to dip out of here?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I don't see much else left. I think it's just time to count our money at the Hunter. Or at the counter.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Make sure you like and subscribe before you leave. We'll be back tomorrow night, hopefully, maybe around 6 Central, 6:30. I'm not sure what Tyler's plans are. We haven't talked about it yet. But yeah, be looking out for tomorrow's stream, and let's hit a 25x. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. I love the slip. So